From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
It's always great to be around other veterans. It really shows that everybody's here and they got your back.
Good evening. Members of the Fairbanks community gathered earlier today to honor those injured in the line of military service.
As part of the event, a new Combat Wounded Purple Heart monument now stands at Veterans Memorial Park downtown. A ceremony of dedication was organized by the Fairbanks chapter of the Military Order of the Purple Heart. The monument was shipped all the way from Ohio and is made of red granite. Borough Mayor Luke Hopkins, congressional office representatives, and Purple Heart recipients from different branches of the military spoke about the importance of erecting a monument in the Golden Heart City. The interior has more than 200 veterans awarded the military's oldest medal. MOPH members Chris Bench says he wanted to emphasize the strength he believes all veterans possess.
When they're dealing with some of these injuries that they have to deal with, it's really important to show that although they're going through struggles, we're still strong and able to overcome these type of adversities.
Trial continued today with another alleged victim taking the stand to testify against a North Pole man accused of 27 counts of sexual abuse of a minor. The male testified that defendant Alan Hughes forced him to have sex with 2 minor girls. Also today, defense attorneys began presenting their case against the allegations of repeated abuse of the 3 children by Hughes. Defense attorneys Steve Hansen and Amy Bennett asked why the victims never came forward and initially denied the abuse on numerous occasions to both social workers and police. Further, the defense alleged the boy had sexually assaulted another girl, something they led the jury to believe was the underlying factor in the case. Hansen asked why the boy denied multiple times the abuse had happened and further questioned why it was his DNA found mixed with the girls on sex toys and not Hughes.
She tried again and again to question you about whether anything was going on, right? And you completely told her that nothing was. And you told her that no one had crossed those boundaries that you were comfortable with.
In 2012, 23-year-old Crystal McMartin of Fairbanks moved to Scottsdale, Arizona, and 2 months later was stabbed to death. Joseph Michael Matthews was arrested and charged with murder and kidnapping in the case. Arizona has the death penalty, so sometimes the process is slower than usual. Now in this case, it's gone on for 3 years, and now it appears there will be no trial. The district attorney's office and the defense have reportedly come to an agreement where Matthews would plead guilty with the understanding that he would not be sentenced to death. When Crystal McMartin was murdered, her mother, Lynette Nelson, moved from Fairbanks to Scottsdale to follow the case and make sure justice was done. She said a plea deal isn't justice.
They had the next trial date set for February 2nd, 2016, and it looks like now that the DA of Arizona is wanting to settle with life. And we just want him prosecuted to the full extent of the law. That's, our right as victims. We thought the state would, come in and we would get justice. I had no idea we'd be fighting for it. If people don't stand up and fight, we're just going to have to settle for the lies and deception and whatever they send our way.
If you plan on enjoying the Tanana Valley State Fair this weekend, you might want to rethink the route you're taking. Officials with Department of Transportation and Public Facilities say fairgoers should use Danby Street or the west end of College Road to get easier access to the event. Construction is ongoing for College Road at the Margaret and Antoinette Avenue intersection. Drivers passing there could encounter lane closures, flagging staff, and other delays scheduled throughout this week and next. Crews are replacing pavement and utilities at the intersection. Public Information Officer Meadow Bailey says the rest of College Road is completely paved and ready for drivers heading to the fair.
We knew it wasn't realistic to expect that we'd have all of the realignment of that intersection of College, Margaret, Antoinette done, but we knew we could get the rest of the work done. And so that's been a big push, the big deadline all along has been to make sure we're open in time for the fair and we're not impacting traffic.
All right, when we come back, our Friday night gardening tip will focus on how to properly care for Brussels sprouts. I really like Brussels sprouts.
Very good. And the Tanana Valley State Fair opened their doors to the public this afternoon. We'll have a report on how everything went, and Mike Schultz will also be there with a live interview from the fair. Stay with us. And welcome back. The growing season is moving right along, especially for Brussels sprouts. Tonight with our gardening tips segment, we'll give you advice on how to harvest your sprouts.
Hello, I'm Susan. I'm here at Calypso Farm and Ecology Center, and I'm in our Brussels sprout patch. I'm here to give you a few tips on growing Brussels sprouts here in Fairbanks. They are a relative of broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, and they grow really well here. They love our kind of cool summers. But there are a few things you need to do with Brussels to make sure that they'll mature in the season for you. The most important thing to do is during the first week of August, once they've had a chance to mature and grow and put on some good height, they'll be taller than your cabbage plants and looking good and bulky and healthy. And what you can do is you can get right down into the top of the growing part of the plant, and you just snip that off. And what happens is the energy that was going in to make the plant taller will now go into making the actual Brussels sprouts form into little sprouts that you're used to seeing in the store. And so then by the middle of September, you can harvest the entire stalk and pull off those Brussels sprouts, and you'll have a good, a very nice harvest of Brussels. So during the first week of August, we always come through and we snip the tops. And then the tops themselves are delicious. They're really sweet, great for stir fries. So we actually band them up and give them to our CSA shareholders. It's one of the favorite early August meals here on the farm is Brussels top. All right, that's it for tonight. But next week, a member of our farmer training program, Emily, will be here to talk to you a little bit about broccoli varieties and ones that are particularly exciting for the home gardener to grow.
Gardening tips, brought to you by Fairbanks Stump Grinders and by Midnight Sun Family Medicine.
As we all know, the Tanana Valley State Fair opened today.
That's right, and Mike Schultz is there live right now with a special guest. Mike.
Hey guys, we're just sitting here chilling out. It's not really chilly though, it's nice and warm. Once again, we're live from the park here for the Tanana Valley State Fair. I'm here with Joyce Whitehorn, who is the general manager, and you're looking pretty calm.
I am. We've had a really restful day here, actually. Everything so far is going smoothly. Crowds are coming in, volunteers are getting their ribbons put together with all the exhibits, and everyone seems to just be happy with the sunshine and the time to get out in this fantastic weather in our fair.
I was going to say, this is one of the best openings I think I've seen in a long time. It's just gorgeous.
It is. This is really wonderful. We've had some lines out at the ticket booth, so just have a little patience. Come on in. Lots of things to do. Lots of entertaining going on. A rodeo freebie right now at 7 o'clock tonight we have. So anyone and everyone who wants to just see a preview, it doesn't cost you anything. Come meet the cowboys and see what goes on out there.
And real quickly, I was talking to the owner for A1 Amusement. He says they've got some new rides this year.
They do have some new rides. They have a lot more smaller kids rides because last year they didn't know exactly what the situation here on our grounds were and what they could bring. They brought a couple more adult rides for the younger, older children and stuff. The younger children have lots of rides. It's off to the side where the old grouping used to be. So bring them out, let them have some fun, and they'll be tired and ready to go home and go to bed.
Well, I tell you what, I'm just getting a whiff right now of some of the wonderful smells here at the fair. So a lot of great things to entertain us here.
Lots of new foods too. Some of our old vendors are here with their foods, are great foods for everybody, Slovakia, and we got the Crepe Boutique here now, and I haven't tried them yet, but everyone says they're delicious. We had a new pizza person. Barbecues are just filling the air with all of their aromas. It's hard to choose which one you want to eat.
It's overwhelming. Well, thanks a lot, Joyce, for being with us, and we'll be back a little bit later on with the weather and what could be better. We'll tell you about that later on. Back to you guys.
I agree. The smells of the fair.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. What's your favorite smell?
Got out a little
Funnel
late.
cake.
Funnel cake. I have to agree.
Awesome. Or as we call it in New York, fried dough.
But you're in Alaska.
Fried
Joe
dough.
Cook is up next in sports, and he sits down with a new University of Oregon recruit.
Also, we continue the high school football team previews tonight at Lathrop High School.
All right, sports is after the break.
Welcome back, Interior Sports fans. Time to get the weekend started with your local Friday Sportscast. I'm Joe Cook. A pair of Alaska Nanics will be reunited in the pros this upcoming season. Recently, Nolan Kaiser signed a tryout agreement for the Huntsville Havoc in Alabama. The Havoc are in the Southern Professional Hockey League. He signed at the end of July. Justin Tateson played the last 7 games for the Havoc last year and scored 4 points. Tateson will return this season. This is Kaiser's first pro deal, and he's coming off a career-high 11-point senior season for the Nanooks. They will be a part of a team trying to move up in the SPHL since they finished 11, 38, and 7 last year. And here's the leaderboard after the first round of the Alaska State Amateur Championship. You'll see a familiar name at the top. Local standout Adam Baxter has a 1-stroke lead going into today's second round. Baxter shot a 69 in the first round and is 3 under. Greg Sanders, the defending state champion, is 1 stroke back with a 70. Richard Tetters is in the hunt as well, sitting in 3rd place with a 71. In the men's first flight, Paul Lindhag had an 83 in the first round and is 7 strokes behind. Paul Dube shot an 89. The women's field will also hit the Palmer Golf Course today for their first round. Earlier this week, we reported that West Valley's Ruthie Hebert committed to the University of Oregon. Tonight, you'll hear from her. Hebert made the announcement on Tuesday, ending the recruiting madness. She was being courted by 80 Division I programs. In over a decade, she's the 4th Fairbanks basketball player to commit to a Division I program. She's also the 5th Alaskan to go to the Pac-12 for women's basketball. The last Wolfpack player to go Division I was Hannah Matson 3 years ago. Matson is a rising junior at the University of Portland. Hebert, who was entering her senior year at West Valley, can officially sign to Oregon in November. Head coach Kelly Graves recruited Hebert as a small forward and power forward. She has always wanted to make her decision on where she would play basketball at the next level early.
It feels good. I feel like a little of the stress of talking to coaches every day and getting text messages. It's really easier now that I made the decision, so I'm glad that I did. One thing is my grandparents are there, and they've lived in Alaska their whole lives, and now they're there. But I really love Coach Graves, and I'm really close to all the coaches there, and that's something that I wasn't for like other schools. Just their attitudes, and when I went on the unofficial visit, I loved the atmosphere, and I met like trainers, and I felt comfortable with them, and I trusted everyone there. So.
And we close out the week with our second high school football team preview. Tonight, we go to Lathrop High School. The Malamutes feel they could be on the brink of a nice run at the top of the Rail Belt Conference. Here's more.
Finish! Finish! Finish!
The defending Rail Belt champion Lathrop Malamutes went to the state semifinals a year ago. This season, they have a bye week in week 1, which gives the coaches more time to develop a team they believe can run the table in the conference again. Lathrop went 4-0 in the Rail Belt and 9-2 overall.
Best team we've had in 4 years. The guys we lose just get replaced. Unbelievable. The talent here that just comes in out of everywhere is just unbelievable at Lathrop High School. I'm so blessed to be a part of a school that has an Army base that just brings them in every year. And we'll just continue moving forward. We have better athletes. We have better transfers. Our line's better than it was last year. Everybody returns with a year of experience.
Lathrop lost significant senior leadership from last season, but enter senior quarterback Glenn Maiden Jr. Maiden was the Rail Belt Offensive Player of the Year, throwing for 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns. He wants to fill that leadership void.
Our approach this offseason to be a better leader and captain towards the team, try and build people up, not tear people down, and just try to be a leader on and off the field and try to set the right example. I think we've learned a lot in this past 2 days and the past couple of weeks. I think we'll be better than last season. Than our spread offense, I think we just learned a lot fast, and so I think we'll just be able to contribute and be a threat.
There's also an interesting addition, junior R.J. Henry. Henry could be a key transfer like Travis Phillips out of Florida was. Henry is from Barstow, California, and will be a big part of both sides of the ball for the Malamutes. He admits Alaska football is very different from California.
Guys up here are a lot more friendlier than what it was down in the States. In California, everybody's all about speed. Everyone wants to be the big-time, showtime person. Coming up here, they introduced me good as a big family, so I felt welcome coming in.
Lathrop will start their season against the Palmer Moose in Palmer on Friday night, August 21st. Joe Cook reporting.
And that's it for sports tonight. Mike Schultz is up next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Tanana Valley Fair. Mike Schultz with you once again. Like I said, a beautiful evening. Couldn't ask for a better day. Lots of sunshine, and thanks to Stanley Nissan for sponsoring our weather tonight. Now, speaking of weather, let's go ahead and go to our photograph for tonight, because this is a great photograph to share with you. This one was taken by Nick Bailey.
Hey, welcome back everyone. It's looking at this photograph for tonight. This is a beautiful
picture that is. And as always, if you have a photograph to share, by all means send it to photos@ktvf11.com. How about our numbers for the day? Well, we'll go out to the airport and show you that our temperature is looking like a high temperature right around 70 degrees. That's where our temperature is. The overnight low last night, 50 degrees. Record high 85, that was in 2013. Record low 37 in 1969. Now the sunrise was at 5:12 and the sun sets at 10:41, giving us not quite 17.5 hours of daylight, a loss of 7 minutes from yesterday. On the satellite and radar, not a whole lot going on. Some clouds moving in from the southwest and a little bit of activity still moving across southeast Alaska, but the interior looking real good. Not looking for anything really major coming our way. That's good news. As far as the rest of the state is concerned, still got some showers around the southeastern sections, but temperatures are starting to warm back up. Look at Anchorage, 76 degrees today. Not a bad day in Kodiak. A little cool around Cold Bay, 54 degrees. Up and down the west coast, temperatures ranging at 58 at Bethel, 51 at Nome, Barrow 45, and Fort Yukon only 63 degrees. Surprising. Lower 48 weather, the hot temperatures continue. Another hot day across the Pacific Northwest, and Seattle looking at some showers to cool down a little bit. Look at Las Vegas, not even 100 degrees. 107 in Phoenix, another hot day in Dallas. Pretty warm in Denver also. Some more thunderstorms around the Minneapolis area. Up and down the eastern seaboard, temperatures have cooled down considerably in the low 80s and still very hot across the deep south with nice weather across the Great Lakes. Why? Well, the satellite picture kind of gives you an indication of what's going on. And as you can see here, we're looking at, for the most part, a lot of activity moving across the eastern seaboard. That's helping to cool things down. More storms moving across the Great Lakes. A lot of energy moving across the Central Plains and the Northern Rockies. Not too much going up and down the West Coast, so all in all, not too bad. Now, there are going to be some severe storms tonight, right on through the evening. Damaging winds, hail, flooding downpours, isolated tornadoes stretching from Denver all the way up to Omaha and even parts of South Dakota. It's going to be a rough night there, and folks have been looking at that. Now, the jet stream will be showing once again taking a dive down to the south across the west coast, bringing a little cooler air in, and then also cooler air moving across the Great Lakes over the northeast. It's still pretty darn hot across the rest of the country and going to remain that way right on into the early part of next week. Well, back to Alaska for tomorrow in the northern section. Showers and fog for Barrow. Scattered showers for Nome. And isolated thunderstorms are possible in the Fort Yukon area. Not 141 degrees in Barrow either. That's a little bit of a misprint there. Also in the interior, looking at partly cloudy skies, showers or thunderstorms possible in the afternoon hours, but all in all, not too bad. Over southeast Alaska, once again, scattered showers across the region. Not quite 70 degrees at Juneau with showers. Over southeast or southwest Alaska, looking at rain for Cold Bay, sunny skies for Kodiak, and mostly cloudy in the Bethel region. And for the south central sections, partly cloudy for Anchorage, decreasing clouds for Valdez, and becoming mostly sunny in the Homer area. All right, our forecast for tonight, 51 degrees, a very pleasant evening with mainly clear skies right on through the night. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, a few isolated showers are possible by afternoon, and the extended forecast again talking about showers possible on Sunday and Monday, but then after that, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday look pretty good. Each day about 65 degrees, and overnight lows right around 50 degrees. So all in all, get a few showers this weekend, but keep the umbrella handy, but still come on to the fair. There's great things out here. Back to you guys at the studio.
Rain is no problem. I'm just there to eat. I can find shelter.
Yeah, it seems like, about rain time, fair time.
Eat food.
Happens every year.
Absolutely. All right, that'll wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, James Holmes was sentenced today to life in prison for the Colorado movie theater massacre. That's next with Lester Holt.
You can tune in tomorrow night for a recap on the Mission of Mercy going on at the Carlson Center during the Interior's only Saturday newscast with Katie Looper and Mike Fussell.
All right, we're going to leave you tonight with more of the Purple Heart ceremony that was held this afternoon downtown. From all of us here at the News Center, have a great night.